Welcome back to the Prison Professors program on preparing for success after prison. And this module is number 9, where we talk about the importance of celebrating achievement. Every time we achieve an incremental goal, we really want to celebrate that progress, particularly if we're sitting inside of a jail or a prison and we have to go through many weeks or many months or many years or in some cases, many decades before we can come back to society. In order for us to keep a high level of energy and discipline while we're going through that journey, we have to have the right mindset, and that mindset we need to feed that mindset, and we feed that mindset with, this celebration of incremental achievements. It's what I had to do when I started my journey of serving a 45-year sentence. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew that along the way, I would learn more. I would learn that I could complete that obligation in 26 years. I would learn that if I pursued this very deliberate, disciplined path of getting through prison, I would develop my confidence and feel stronger. And what was that plan? Well, it's the same plan that I've been speaking about through this entire course on preparing for success after prison. It begins by first defining success. The second part of the plan is to create a SMART goal that's specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. And the third component of the plan is to execute the plan by building a strong support system. If I could focus on those 3 elements, I satisfied effectively the prerequisites that lead to a solid plan of preparing for success after prison. But I have to do more. I can't just define success and then set goals. I then have to make sure that I'm moving forward with the right attitude, 100% commitment to success. I need to move forward with an aspiration of visualizing, what am I going to build with my life? How is my life going to be different in the weeks, months, years, and decades ahead? What level of aspiration, do I have to see myself on the other side of this journey? And what action steps can I take along the way? How am I going to hold myself accountable? In what ways am I keeping my head in the game and staying aware of opportunities that I can seize or that I can create out of nothing? And if I do all of that, then I've got to make sure that I am celebrating every achievement along the way. And now, I started my sentence in 1987. I finished my sentence in 2013, and I've been home now. This is August of 2022 when I'm filming this version of the program. It's been 9 years. In fact, tomorrow, I can show you some kind of cool things on this screen, which I'll be doing here. But tomorrow will be 35 years since the day of my arrest. It will be 9 years since the day that I concluded my obligation with the Bureau of Prisons. It will be 10 years since the day I transitioned from a prison to a halfway house. And all along those ways, there have been a lot of what would you call it? Accomplishments, celebrations of achievement that I've made along the way. And I want to share some of these with you because they would have inspired me when I was in prison to see, wait a minute, I'm here right now, but I can become more. So through the course of this video, which they generally last 27 minutes or so, because that's the limit I have in sending these things into prisons, I just want to be revealing to you about what were those series of accomplishments along the way that I celebrated. Well, the biggest accomplishment of my life, I will always say, was marrying Carol, my wife, while I was inside of a federal prison. That made all the difference in my life. We got married in 2003, in June of 2003. I was in about my 16th year of imprisonment, and yet I had 10 more years to serve before I would get out of prison. But together, we were able to create this, well, I would call a magical life for me to serve my last 10 years, where I'd say, okay, I'm going to spend all of my energy and time devoted to you to try and help you get through this with me. And you are going to do the same thing on the outside. So we were really a partnership. And that was a huge accomplishment for me because it was something that I wanted. but there's no way I could have persuaded Carol to come into my life had I not spent my time in prison working to really differentiate myself. And so there were these series of goals that I hit along the way that helped me build confidence, that helped me feel as though I wasn't only in prison, I was also something more than the bad decisions that I made that put me in prison. And if you're going through jail or prison right now, I want you to be thinking about what's the best possible outcome in your life. What does it look like? What does success look like for you? If you can figure that out, you can start building something that's better. And through this video now, I think it's important for me to kind of profile other people who have done that and what it does for me to have a role in hearing these people say, hey, they were in prison. They learned from a guy who was outside of a prison, and because of what they saw, they began to transform their life. And you're going to see that not only in the remainder of this video, but in the next video as well, where we conclude the module of our Preparing for Success After Prison class. So first thing I'm going to do is you're going to see me kind of celebrating these achievements as I switch over from this type of a screen and go to this area just by myself, using the way that I've learned how to use technology. I can go over here to this screen, and now you can see this is the website that I use as part of our nonprofit to help people understand what can we do better as a society to improve outcomes of America's prison system. And so if I scroll down through here, you will see yesterday I spoke about Halim Flowers, and I feature him right on the homepage of our Prison Professors website because he is such an accomplishment. He is somebody who is serving a double life sentence, but now he is out here in society really doing something special with his life. In fact, if I go over to this other tab and Google his information, you will see how he comes up on Google, not only for the double life sentence that he was serving, but for all the amazing things he has done since he has been home. And he's only been home for a couple of years. But the great thing about Halim Flowers is that he gives hope to all of us, that because he shows us that regardless of where we've been or what challenges we've faced in the past, we can all overcome. And so this is the Google sheet for Halim Flowers, just showing how are people seeing him. If I click on this, some of his links, like this one right here, you can see this is going to take you to his Twitter handle, his Twitter page, and you will see some of his artwork. You will see some of his amazing accomplishments out here. You can see that he's really been able to achieve a series of goals along his path. I think I could also go to his Instagram page, Halim Flowers. There he is. That's the real Halim Flowers, I think, is his website. Is that him? Yeah, he's got 11,000 followers, his art and modern. And if you scroll through his page, you can see his work. What was super cool about Halim is not only has he sold more than $1 million worth of paintings in his first year since he has been home, he's built this an amazing following where he is even contributing work to the Queen of England. There's his new BMW. These are some of his paintings, right? He can celebrate every one of these achievements because it was his time in prison that made all the difference for him. If I go back to to show you some of the ways that I was, I'm so grateful to be able to celebrate Halim because I can use his story to help other people see how can we improve outcomes for people in the criminal justice system. And that's what this whole website shows. But I can show you some of the other cool people. This is a fella who was in the California Department of Corrections who transformed his life, and he's now really a successful guy out here in society. And this is an interview that you would see as part of our program, but I'm just going to be quiet and let you listen to his words right now. So if I hit play.
Prison in Central Valley, California.
Go back to the beginning.
Wanted to teach and inspire more people in prison. So Ken, I really want to thank you for being a part of the program. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how we connected?
Sure. I first became familiar with you, Michael, when I was sitting in a cell in Soledad prison in Central Valley, California. And they started showing videos about your motivational speaking and your self-help workshops. So they started playing them on the institutional video channel. It was one of the few pieces of programming, video programming that you could get that was inspirational and then fed into my entrepreneurial mindset. So I used to watch it religiously just to get any kind of pearls and tidbits. And I found that a lot of your journey and a lot of your guest journey had traveled in the same trajectory as my journey. A lot of reading, a lot of self-determination, a lot of self-perseverance in crazy circumstances, as you know.
So it's incredibly fulfilling for me to be able to work with people like Ken Oliver and also other people like Ken who have spent their time transforming their life inside of prison and have become enormously successful out here. Just like everybody on this channel can become more successful. See, while I was serving my real lengthy time in prison, I didn't know how I was going to come home. I didn't know what opportunities were going to exist for me. But one thing I always thought was that when I come home, I will be unemployable. I didn't know if that was accurate or not, but I would always remind myself that you are a convicted felon. You will have served 26 years in prison by the time you finish this sentence. You will have gone through just a lot of challenges that most people in society don't understand or haven't gone through, but you're going to have to succeed anyway. And so the seeds that I would sow inside of a prison were all part of preparing. And that preparation is what opened opportunities for me along the way. In fact, if I go back, sentencing advocates, right, for example, I can scroll through this section of our website and you will see that I'm sitting here interviewing these leaders of the prison system. These are, I'm a guy who was in prison for 26 years, but now I'm able to get these people, and if I click it, you could actually see what I mean. I'm going to click it here, open in a little link or tab, and you can see me interviewing the former director of probation for the United States. Or if I scroll back there, go back, you'll see me interviewing former director of the Bureau of Prisons, or former or even current United States District Court judges. And these are people that are giving time to me because I tell them I'm striving to help justice-impacted people transform their lives. And I want those people to help me do that. So let me see if I make this bigger. Now I can see it actually. I can come down here to testimonials page, and you can look at all of this. This is really how you could document my whole journey from the time I started coming home. If I scroll way down, I'll just kind of scroll there with you. This is a series of celebrating incremental achievements along the way. From this time in 2006, I was still in prison. But I'm writing books, and those books are being reviewed by the LA Times Book Review. I can click on this right here and show people, hey, don't take my word for it. You can scroll through, and there's the Los Angeles Times website, and you're seeing One Inmate's Call for Reform. So and they can scroll through there and see it's reviewed inside one of my books being reviewed by a really important newspaper review. I think there are even some images on there that show me when I was in prison. Let's see if I can scroll through there. I don't know if it'll show up on there still. I guess not. There's no pictures. I thought there were pictures of that as well. But if you scroll through this page, you will see that I was always documenting, interviews in the New York Times, interviews in the Seattle Times. This is all while I was still in prison. But all of those efforts of profiling, hey, this is a long strategy of preparing for success after release. I would document it all, and that documentation resulted in projects that made me really, that really helped me along the way, including things like this, a letter from Stanford University Law School, where you could actually see the letter, and the letter's right there. It was June of 2012, which was before I even got out of prison. They're writing to help me get out of prison. And it's coming from one of the most distinguished law schools in the United States. And they're writing things like this. Let us emphasize that while both of us have been involved in criminal... Oh, let me see if I can help you see it, because it's kind of... I'd have to make it smaller to make you see it. Let's see if I can scroll that over. Use my technology skills here. There. Now you can see it. And now I can make it bigger up here. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. But if you look at that paragraph there, it says, let us emphasize that while each of us has been involved in criminal justice studies for over 30 years, neither one of us has ever before written a letter supporting any action for any other prisoner. We have always trusted the people in parole and clemency systems to operate by their traditional criteria, but Mr. Santos' case is amazing and compelling, and so that we are making a unique exception for him, right? This is really what I want you to see, is that we all can take our life in prison and transform our life in such a way that we have these little achievements, and those little achievements open new opportunities for us. And this is really a history that I use on my website to show people the entire journey, including going to the University of Minnesota Law School and participating with them on trying to transform the prison system and improving outcomes for justice-impacted people. How newspapers profiled my work when I first came back to society. I want people to see all of the work, because all of these are little accomplishments. But they're little accomplishments that open new opportunities. Just like I want you to be able to open new opportunities for yourself, not only while you're in prison, but also when you come home. And if you view your journey through prison as a continuous opportunity to prepare for success upon release, you can, build a career around your journey, just like I did. I had to learn all of this kind of technology while I was still incarcerated. I may have never had access to the internet, but because I spent my time focusing on developing those skills that I recommended that each of you focus on, let me go back to the section where I can talk to you. Because I spent all of my time focusing on developing these skills that would help me become a better writer, that would help me become a better verbal communicator, that would help me develop math skills, that would help me develop critical thinking skills, and to really build a self-directed work ethic, I can open new opportunities upon my release, just like you can do the same. You can open opportunities when you come home, even though you may come home with a criminal background. You may come home without any money. You may come home without any credit. All of those are challenges, but to the extent you process those challenges, you could start to build or architect a strategy that will help you build a business around your journey. Any kind of business. And some of our other courses, that's what I try and do. And it's on the website where I show people, my way isn't the only way to get through a prison journey, but through this way, it is one pathway to build an income stream if the job market is not going to be friendly to you. And I try to show that effort through all of my work, including, this one, how I became a real estate investor, even though I had a 000 credit score, and I'd been in prison for so long by just acquiring assets, acquiring real estate. And I profile all of that information on this website because I'm 100% transparent. I want everybody to see that I never ask anybody to do anything that I didn't do. And if somebody wants to become something more, they can, you want to see how I did it, I just show them. I show them in the same way that I encourage other people to do. So like if I go here to michaelsantos.com, one of my other websites, they can scroll through here and see the various transactions that I've built and the businesses that I build. And how do I do it? I show them I thought I showed this here on Prison Professors, the timeline of my own personal journey of how I built my career while I was in prison to launch this life that would lead me to a life of what I would say a life of meaning and relevance and dignity, even though I served so much time inside. So I want you to be thinking about what's the best outcome for you? What is it that you want to achieve? If you want to document that journey, you want to be able to profile the different ways that you've built your life. Just like I show here. This is a different platform that I create. This is my YouTube channel. And if you scroll through there, you'll see all of the work that I do to try and help more people become aware of how they could use their time in prison to prepare for success after they get out of prison. But it's not easy. And there's not always going to be a lot of encouragement or support for you. But if you develop this plan of defining success, of setting clear goals that align with how you define success, and if you not only define success and set goals, but also build a strong support network, you can truly transform your life, just like the people that I have profiled on this program. And, I always get inspired from people who've been in prison, particularly people who have gone through the different courses, people that have opened new opportunities for their lives. One of them is this fellow that I'd love to share with you just a little bit of his of my interview with him. I don't know if you'll have an opportunity to see it, but if I click over here to the Chrome window, you can see this is another guy that came out of the California Department of Corrections, and you could just listen to what he has to say about what he did. He went from serving a life sentence to getting $28.5 million in grants that he has used to try and transform the outcomes for people who are coming out of state prisons in California. And he's built an entirely, along with his team. His name is Richard Morales. He was serving a life sentence. I think he tells a little bit more about his journey. Let's see if he says it.
Professors, it's not often I get an opportunity to introduce you to somebody who has really overcome struggle, but not only overcome struggle in a personal way, also devoted himself to improving the lives of others. And that's why I'm so thrilled to introduce you to Richard Morales. I'm going to let him tell his story, but it's amazing. And he inspires me. I know he'll inspire you. If you're serving time in jail or prison, this is the place you want to be to learn why the decisions you make today have a huge influence on what you become tomorrow. Richard, welcome to Prison Professors. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you. I remember being in and watching your shows and being inspired.
Tell us about the time that you were in.
Okay. Yeah, I was sentenced to 25 years to life in 1998. And I didn't get out until March of 2019. Hold on one second. Man, I'm on a recorded line here. Can we edit that out? Sorry.
That's okay. We're not, if you saw these in prison, I always say, I'm not a Disney level production.
Well, hey, definitely. Just letting everybody know, once you get out here, the real world, there's people walking around in your house and talking and preparing, and it's Sunday and it's a family day. But yeah, I was sentenced in 1998, 25 years to life. Didn't get out until March of 2019. Went in there back when the governor was Gray Davis, and he said the only way a lifer in California prisons was going to get out was in a pine box.
So I hope that you'll be able to see the full interview. It's an hour interview, so I can't really show it all right here, part of this program, but it is part of all of our ongoing programs that we send into jails and prisons across America. The main thing is that Richard validates this concept that if you spend your time inside working to prepare for success after prison, you can even overcome obstacles like he faced, which was a governor that used to say the only way you're going to get out of prison if you're serving life is you're coming out in a pine box. but he's out here right now and he's doing great things, and he's building support systems to help other formerly incarcerated people. And I'm really passionate about that, about seeing people who transform lives. We want you to transform lives. We want to prove worthy of your trust and support. My name is Michael Santos. I'm with Prison Professors. I believe in you.